Hello everybody. Today I got a 2002 BMW M5 that we're gonna install a new electric fan. So we're gonna get rid of the fan clutch and we're gonna put on a new coolant tank. So the coolant tank is not bad, it's just old and it changed colors, so that's why we're changing it. It's not leaking, but we're gonna get rid of the fan clutch. So here we go. Alright, we're gonna start by removing the air filter ductings and the pipes. Just 2 screwdrivers. Get these clamps loose. Be careful with these because sometimes they just pop out. There's one more underneath it, just like this one. This is held by a number 10 bolt. I already took it out. It goes like that. Alright, next up we're going to take off the fan clutch. Tools you're going to need for this is a 32 wrench and this guy right here that holds it on. I already broke this loose, so this always goes the opposite way. So the whichever way the crank is moving, it's going to be the opposite of that. Whoops, we just dropped the fan clutch. Luckily we didn't break it, but it was going to get replaced anyways. Alright, let's get these hoses disconnected. So 2 clips right here. One right here, one more right here. And that's pretty loose now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna clamp the hose down there so I don't lose too much coolant. And then just, there's a temperature sensor down here, so you can, if you go from the side, you can reach it. You just unplug that right here, and then once I plug that hose so I don't lose coolant what's on that side, I'll just remove it and then just get this out. Alright, having gloves on is always a problem for me. I freaking forget to put gloves on every time. I'll be in the middle of the job and remember that I had to put gloves on. Anyways, we're gonna push this way a little bit to make room and then clamp it from right there. Alright, we got the clamp on. Just put something underneath because once you remove this, it's gonna, whatever is in here is gonna float out. Bit of a mess, but it is what it is. Alright, we have another plug on the fan shroud that connects to this little box right here. I'm gonna unplug that. Looks like that. And then two more clips right here. One right here, one more right there. Let's see if we can get the fan shroud out. Alright, our fan shroud is out. Now we got plenty of room to install our fan. Alright, so I don't know if I mentioned, but this is like the fourth one that I'm doing, converting to electric fan basically. And out of the last three I did, one of them needed a radiator, so I changed the radiator and I kept it. The first one I actually did it on the car and it wasn't too bad, but since I have a radiator out now, I just use it to get my measurements and do it this way instead of just doing it on the car. You know, it's easier. I mean, you can do it on the car. I've done the first one on the car. The second one was the one that needed a radiator, so I kept the radiator. So in this package, you're pretty much gonna get 4 brackets. And you got a wiring harness that I use that comes with it. It came with other plugs too, but I'll show you right now. But I haven't used them yet I haven't used them yet on anything yet, on any of the jobs. So this comes with a plug that it's not even for this car. So I don't know what the deal with this plug is. I've never seen one like this on the car. So, and then this one is the other 3 didn't come with this wire. This is a new wire I'm seeing. They came with the other one and this one, so this one is what I use, but this I haven't seen. Anyways, so we'll get the measurements on these. Put this aside. Connect. You're gonna see where the 2 flats are. One up here, one more up here. So the radiator is gonna, basically this is the top of the radiator. So we're gonna put it this way. So this is on the passenger side because that's where I'm gonna run my wires. So then we'll have the fan shroud here, so we'll use the fan shroud as guidance, so we make sure it sits pretty much where it's supposed to. So we're gonna put it somewhere about here, like that, so it doesn't interfere with the fan shroud or anything like that. So if this goes like this, it will still have the fan sitting right in the middle basically. this is about right. There is some existing holes you can use, like this one right here. You see that one? This will work like that. You can use that. And then for this one is too much away, so we'll drill a hole right here. So for this guy, we're gonna drill a hole somewhere about here. And then this will be like this, pretty much. Alright, let's take some measurements and cut these brackets. I'll put some measurements up just so you guys know how far away. This is the most important measurement, I guess. So you guys don't have to play too much with it. So I'll put the measurements of this, how far away is from the left corner. So from there on you guys can figure out. So yeah, so if you're doing it on a car, you can figure out how far away you are from the thing. So if you're looking at the lip, it's exactly 2.5 inches from the lip. So if you move it over 2.5 inches from the lip and do the installation, you'll pretty much be exactly where you need to be as far as the circle in the fan shop goes. Alright. Just gonna mark them so I can cut them. Right, I'll get the grinder, cut these, and then we'll go to the car and start installing it. Alright, let's shave them down. I'll be right back. Alright, so I got them pretty much grinded and dialed in, so no sharp corners. Alright, I think we're good. Now we're gonna find 4 10mm matching ones. So that's what I'm gonna use to basically just secure these in place. So let's put it on the car. Alright, so some holes are matching and some are not, so we're gonna have to drill new holes, but whatever we have, we're gonna install it on right now. We have on with 2 bolts and pretty much good as far as the 2.5 inches goes. So I'm gonna mark the other 2 and just drill them right here. So one will be right here and one more underneath it. So it looks like here we're gonna have a room to do this, but be careful when you're doing this not to pierce the radiator. So cut it as far away from the core as possible. Now we should be good. Alright, this will go right here. One more left on the bottom, so we'll raise the car up and take care of that one. Alright, so the fan is on, but the next thing we gotta do is, since we installed bolts right here, we're gonna have to cut off little sections right here, like right there, to just have the bolts stick out. So I took measurements, and I'm gonna cut out like a little piece out so the shroud could sit flush basically. Alright, so I got my measurements right here, so I'm just gonna cut them. I'm just gonna use the grinder. Alright, one right there, one right there. So let's go put it on the car. Alright, let's not forget to tighten this all the way. Let's put this guy back on. Alright, make sure everything is sitting right. All the clips are right lined up. Alright, let's put the clips on temporarily. If we need to take them off, we'll take them off again, but alright, let me raise it up and show you how it sits underneath. Alright, this is how we're looking down here. There's our bolts, one right there, one right there, the cutoffs we did. And for the clip, I just got one of the clips that was sitting here, and I just put it on there and just secured the connection right there, so it'll sit right where that little box is, just for a clean look. That's what it looks like. I mean, I can't get the angle right, but yeah, that's what it looks like. Okay, so we have everything on, we're all set here. The fan is on. Now we're gonna wire this. So the wiring, we have two options. The first one I've ever done, I wired it to the temperature sensor that's on a radiator hose that's down here. So first one I did it like that, so the fan wouldn't turn on until the car got hot, which is, when you think about it, it's ideal because you don't want the fan running at all times. But the problem with that was it wouldn't shut off until the car got cold. So you would park the car and the fan would be on for like 30 minutes before it could turn off. So the customer wanted that way. I even warned him that that's what's gonna happen, but he was okay with it. It took him about 3 days. He called me back. He's like, hey, can we just wire it to the ignition? When I start the car it goes on, and then when I shut off the car it comes off, which I thought was the best idea to begin with. But anyways, so that's what we're gonna do. But just to know that if you wire it to that temperature sensor, you will have the fan kicking in later on your drive. It won't be on right away when you start the car. But that's not what we're gonna do. We're gonna hot wire it straight to the ignition, So that way when you start the car you have a fan, when you turn off the car you don't have fan on draining your battery. So we'll go through the wiring now. Alright, so as far as the wiring, this is what we got. We got main power. Well, we got a relay. First of all, we got a relay and we got a fuse. So we got hot power. Okay. This is going to be constant power. And then we got, so this is the wire that's going to trigger the relay to go on. So this is going to go to something that's going to turn on with the ignition and turn off with the ignition. And then over here we got a ground. And that's pretty much it. This ground, since we're gonna be down here, I'm gonna pick up ground. So the wiring is gonna go basically, let me show you. So our temperature sensor, turn the flash on. Temperature sensor plug is sitting right here, right there. You see it's right there. So our wiring is gonna start from here. So the reason why I did it that way is because I have a ground right by the motor mount. You see that? That's ground right there. So that's the ground that I'm gonna pick up. I'm gonna clean that up obviously, and I'll pick up ground from there. I've tried many other things. This is the cleanest possible look I'm gonna get. So we'll plug in, we'll come this way, and then we'll go around under the hose, get some wires tugged in underneath so it looks nice and clean. We'll come out here. From there on we're gonna go inside the box and connect to something inside, so that way we have a clean look on the car. Alright, so we have this on. Alright, so we got the ground on. Like I said, you're gonna go under this hose, right underneath the hose and behind the temperature sensor. When we come up here, this is how I ran it. I'm just gonna take this corner right here. I'm just gonna go all the way in and just basically all the way through. So over here we got 3 wires, 1, 2, and the third one, it ends right here where the relays are, but I ran it back. And took it out right here. There's 2 ground connections here, one here, one there. I'm gonna connect to the bottom one. So this, I'm gonna clamp it, put one of those circles in the end, make it shorter, and clamp it, basically tied it right here. I don't know who painted these bolts, don't ask me. Alright, so that's done. So here, this relay right here, it has a little mounting point, so I bended it so it became like a hook, so I can hook it right here. And I had another like a clip kind of thing, so I clipped the fuse right there. So as far as, I have two wires here. One is terminal 85 for the relay that I'm gonna connect to something that turns on with the key on. And for this big wire, this connection right here, it's a 2-pin connection, and one is empty. And when you look down there, so it has 2 connections. So one is empty. I have some old BMW wiring. This is the time where you save some stuff from before, and these are the times when you need it. So I got this wire right here. Basically I took it out of the pin, and this is gonna fit right in here. So it'll go behind it right there, it'll fit right in. So, and then this will just plug right there, look as clean as it possibly can. There's a little pin right here. That's what it looks like. You pull that out, you pull this in, make sure it goes in all the way. It locks. There we go. Now we have a 2-pin. So we'll connect this back right here. Then we'll cut this and connect it to this. So the pin 85 for the relay, basically this is gonna energize the relay for it to let this to flow through the fan. I'm gonna turn the key on and make sure I'm getting power to this green one, and we're gonna slice and connect right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn the key on. Right, yep, we have power here. So we're gonna go ahead and slice this wire and tap in there. So if I wanted to, I could possibly go ahead and solder this wire, but I'm not going to, in case somebody changes their mind down the road and wants to go back to fan clutch and make everything back to original. They can just take this wire out and just go back to what it used to be, basically. So I'm just gonna make sure it's nice and snug. And that sums up our wiring. On this side, if you get a razor blade and you cut a little bit of this, so just so this can fit like that, so when you're putting the lid back on, it doesn't pinch the wire. So that's what I've done here. I just got a razor blade and I just cut just the portion of it out just for this wire to sit. All right, let's give it a shot. I'm gonna turn the key on, make sure the fan goes on, and make sure the fan goes off when we turn the key off. Fan on. Fan off. So here we go. So we'll go ahead and put our new coolant tank back on, put everything back together, and we're all set. Alright, so that pretty much sums it up. I'm not going to waste your time putting air filters and stuff like that back together, so hope this helped. Thank you for watching. Take care.